Hari Om. Today I am going to speak about the chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita, which is about Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is a very important message of Bhagavad Gita. If you refer to the ancient yogic texts, Bhagavad Gita is the first one to talk about this Karma Yoga. A non-attachment, selfless dimension attached to the actions. Which results in a positive experience. Whatever today I am facing in my life, whether it's stress, whether it's depression, whether it's anxiety, whether it's my addictions, whether it's my physical health issues, whether it's my wrong habits, it is all the result of my karmas, my previous actions, my past karmas. I end up in a situation which creates stress. I have a choice to be a part of that situation or not. It's my karma that brought me there. People say, oh, I have lots of issues with relationship. Well, it's my karma that got me into that relationship and now it's not working. So my karma is responsible. The question is, how can I get out of these negative experiences of my life? To understand that, you need to understand the karmas in more details. In Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, the Sri Krishna has given the origin of karmas. Where does the karmas come from? The verse is very interesting. He says, Annad bhavati bhutani parjanyad anna sambhavaha. Yajnad bhavati parjanyo yajna karma samudbhavaha. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahmakshara samudbhavam. Tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yajne pratishtitam. The earth is what makes our life. The food that the earth produces is what makes us. Who makes that food? Is the Parjanya. Parjanya is the, in simple layman's words, is rain. The rain makes it happen. What makes the rain? The rain is made by the fire, yajna. So look at this principle, the elements, earth, then water, now fire. And what makes this element of fire work? It's karma. That is the Vayu principle, the prana principle. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi. Brahma is the space, ever expanding space. The word Brahma comes from Bruhat, something that's expanding. So the space that's ever expanding, which is again confirmed by science. Science also says that space is ever expanding. Stephen Hawking has given all this mathematical model how the space is expanding. The universe is not same, it's continuously expanding. So there, the origin of karma is there. And that expansion, the space principle, is coming from Akshara. Akshara is the imperishable divine consciousness. So everything starts from that cosmic consciousness, but the most important in this link is karma. The action, the change. Karma is what changes the time-space. If you look at ourselves, there are continuous changes in us. Our mind is continuously changing. Our intellect is continuously changing. Our body is continuously changing. There are processes going on in our body. That is also karma. A breathing is a karma. The heart beating, that's also karma. You thinking, that's also karma. You feeling emotions, that's also karma. you talking, you walking, everything is karma. Now these karmas that we are doing, knowingly or unknowingly, is what is deciding my habits. Who am I? I am nothing but collection of habits, collection of memory, certain emotional patterns, certain patterns of thoughts is what I am. And who made these patterns of thoughts? Who made these habits in me? Who made these addictions in me? It's the karmas. What makes me anxious? It's the pattern. And what made that pattern? It's my actions that I have done knowingly or unknowingly. So look, we are nothing but a collection of these conditionings, sanskar in Sanskrit, or impressions left behind our karmas. So our karmas have made all of this. So whatever we experience in our day-to-day life is a result of my karmas that I have done knowingly or unknowingly. And now I am suffering. So it's time for me to unlearn. It's time for me to relearn. It's time for me to change. And how to change? Again, the simple principle Shri Krishna has presented in Bhagavad Gita. Use the same karmas, just in a different way. So karmas will help you unlearn. Karmas will wipe the sanskaras, the impressions, the negative habits, the patterns that you have formed. But for that to happen, you need to do karma in a very specific way. And that path to unlearn is Karma Yoga. I am going to highlight 3 things with Karma Yoga. The 3 attributes of Karma Yoga. What makes the karma become a Karma Yoga? The first attribute is very important realization for us if you pay attention to, and that attribute is Nishkama. Nishkama means the karma without any attachment to the fruit or without any desires. The desires create attachments that we discussed in chapter 2. These desires leading to attachments, if your karma, you do it without any attachment, what's going to happen? So let's consider a situation. You're preparing for an exam, for example. When you say, I am preparing for exam, the result of that exam comes to your mind. And then, naturally, the result can go from fail to top, a failure in the exam and very successful in the exam, like the top rank. When you think of the failures, you develop repulsion to that idea. Say, no, I don't want to be a failure, but I want to be the first one. And then you develop attachment with that top grade. When you develop attachment to be the first one, to be the most successful, that is your attachment to the fruit. No doubt, this idea of securing or achieving the success is a motivation for you, no doubt about it. But most of the times it creates stress and anxiety. We all know that. Go to any teacher and ask them, when the time of exams, what happens to kids? They say many kids feel sick. There are so many studies which say that if there is an exam, health is not really good. The studies, they have there's a lot of evidence about it. So stress actually reduces our performance. And if you apply this one principle of Sri Krishna's Karma Yoga, that I have no attachment. The moment you have no attachment with the fruit, the stress is gone, the anxiety is gone. A simple technique that Sri Krishna mentioned. Your expectations can sometimes bring positive results, and your expectations can bring sometimes negative results. I discussed about negative results. What about positive results? It brings excitement, which is again not something that is good. And that is why Sri Krishna says your work should be non-attached to the fruit of the action. I will give you one more example. It is an interesting example. When we are working in the office, we have attachment to the fruit of our action. What is the attachment? If I work, I should get this much money. Or if I am working, then my work should be over within this time period and I should be able to go home. Whatever. And naturally, these expectations that we have bring attachments, and that brings stress. Most of us who work in the offices, we say, oh, my job is very stressful. The same person who says my job is stressful goes on a holiday and he enjoys the holidays. So let us see a person who is working in the office and let us see a person, the same person enjoying his holidays. Look at the difference. In the office, what is he doing? A nice air conditioned room probably, nice chair to sit on, nice laptop in front, probably there is a coffee machine, food is there on time, it is not that you do not get food. Physically it is not very demanding because you are sitting in the chair. So, it is quite relaxed in a way for your body. And when you go on a holiday, look what you do. You walk in the morning, you go for cycling, you go for swimming, so much of physical work. Probably the food will be similar or different, little different you can say. Other than this physical work, in your holidays, you are also doing a lot of mental work. You will probably read some books, you will watch some documentaries. So, you are mentally also active, physically also active. Why does the holiday does not stress you? Why there is no stress in holidays and why there is stress in the work? The simple difference is your attachment to the fruit of your action. In holidays, when you are walking, you do not have any attachment to the fruit, you just walk, that is it. In the office, if you are walking up and down, it stresses you, say, so much of trouble, I do not like it. In office, you are working on the computer, it is so much stressful. But if you are reading a book in holidays and writing some notes from the book on your computer, it is not stressful. What is the difference? Non-attachment with the fruit of action. One. Second aspect of Karma Yoga, Nirahankar. So, the first, non-attachment is connected with desires, Kama. Second aspect, Nirahankar, is connected with Krodha or ego. Often, the ego brings stress and anger and negativity in our life. And it is independent of the fruit of the action. I will give you one simple example. You are working in the office, you expect pay rise at the end of your financial year and you get it, you are happy. Oh, I got pay rise, very nice. You got the fruit of your action that made you happy, okay, no problem. Then second news comes to you, and the second news is your colleague who does not deserve any pay rise has got 2 times more pay rise than you. What happens? Is your happiness still the same, or the happiness gets converted into anger? This is ego, this is the role of ego. How powerful the role of ego is in deciding my state of mind. If the work is selfless, then this negative experience is not there. When the work is selfless, there is no comparison. When the work is selfless, there is no competition. Many times the selfless dimension starts coming when you start doing the work for others. It's very difficult dimension because most of the times we say, I am doing it to prove it to myself. I am doing it because I want to prove it to others that I am this and this and I am that and that. And that creates a lot of stress. Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna that this is unnecessary for you. You don't have to really do the action getting influenced by your ego. Then if it is not for ego, and then if it is not for the fruit of the action, then what is the purpose of the action? For me, in my day-to-day life, almost all of this behavior that I am getting involved in is about attachment and is about ego. This is a very important part of Karma Yoga dimension that Sri Krishna has presented in 3rd chapter, and then the theme is continued in 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th chapters. That is Swadharma. What is the concept of Swadharma? My duty, my responsibility, my role that I need to play in my life. And this is most critical idea to understand. To understand this, I will give you different examples and different ways. If you look at your life, can you say that my life is independent life? Independent life cannot exist. Our life is interconnected. I cannot make my own food. The rice that is made for me is done by hundreds and thousands of people. The farmer who's made it, the seeds that he purchased, the seeds are from generations. So just for me to eat my rice, hundreds of people have already contributed. The same is true with every object that I am using. I am wearing this t-shirt. So many people have contributed in making that t-shirt. I am staying here and I am living in this place. When this place was constructed, hundreds and thousands of people have contributed. Different engineers, different workers, different companies, different agencies. So all of this connects me indirectly to all of those people. Right now I am using phone. Just take example of a phone. How many engineers have been working hard for how many years to make this technology, piece of technology for us? It's just not the people who manufactured it. It's just not the people who designed it. But that phone has so many other features in it. There's a card. There's a mobile SIM card. That SIM card is operated by some other company. They have their own infrastructures. There are hundreds of people, thousands of people working. There's so many other features in the phone. They are made by different people. There's internet connected. On internet there are so many resources that are making my life easy. So many applications, so many thousands of people have done those applications. So just take one phone and how many people have contributed to your experience of life. Look, when I get all of this, I have a responsibility to give back. This is the idea of Karma Yoga. When I receive, I have to give back because it's my duty. If I don't give back, I am disturbing the balance. If you go back to the mother nature that we all come from, everywhere if you go to a forest, there's an ecology that exists within that forest. Every animal in that forest, every plant in that forest, every small bug in that forest has a role to play. The lion has a role to play. The antelopes have a role to play. The plants and the vegetation there, they have their role to play there. There's a water reservoir, it has its role to play. And everyone is dependent on each other. The lion is dependent on the antelopes. If the antelope numbers go down, the lions also go down. If the antelope numbers go up, lions go up. If the antelope numbers go up, they eat more grass. So the greenery goes down. If the antelopes are gone down, the grass grows up, the trees grow up. So this is interdependency. So everyone has to give to the creation. Is it only for creation? If you take your life, in my house, I receive so many things from my people in the house. So I have a responsibility to give back. There are my parents, there's my partner, there's my kids. I have to give back. In society, I am receiving so much from my society. I gave you some examples of the society. I get education, I get my food, I get everything in my life from these people around me in society. So I have to give back to the society. And the next level is Mother Nature. I receive from Mother Nature, I have to give back. I can't say that I'm just going to cut down this tree because I want to use the wood for my pleasure, my desire. I want nice chair in my room. Well, it's not going to be good for you in long term if you don't plant one more tree after cutting one. Because if I cut down the tree, it will affect my air. Right now we are all facing the problem. In the world, we understand what's happening as global warming. And the reason, simple reason for global warming is I am just taking things from nature for my desires and I'm not giving back. It's not very big secret. If I don't give back, I'm going to pay the price of it. So Karma Yoga that Sri Krishna is recommending is not for your spiritual growth, but it is for your survival. So on all these levels, in my house, in my society, in Mother Nature, I have these different roles to play. That is my dharma. But there is one more important aspect. Sri Krishna says every life, every Atma is divine. So every life is equally valuable to the divine. And that life that I have received, that you have received, that he has received, that she has received, has a purpose. And you have to find out that purpose in your life. You are born without your will. You did not decide, I'll be born in India, or I'll be born in Italy, or I'll be born in Colombia, or I'll be born in Israel. You did not decide that. You were born. You did not decide how much you will be, your height. You were given that. Your genes, everything was decided. So you are born with specific qualities. You are born with specific likes and dislikes, and you have to understand your likings, your abilities to decide what should be your life goal. Buddha, he was born into a royal family. He was going to be a king. He was a king. But he realized that his nature is not suitable for ruling the kingdom. So he decided his Karma Yoga would be to help people evolve in spiritual dimension. Don't think that Buddha has nothing to do with Karma Yoga. Buddha did his selfless action without any attachment to the fruit by going around in the society and telling people, guys, reduce your desires and ego. This is not going to help you. Come to the path of meditation. Come to the path of Buddhas. These teachings that he gave, the Panchashil, similar to Yamas and Niyamas, the 4 truths, noble truths, said follow these. So though he was born in royal family, his nature took him to the different side of his karmas, and he did that as a Karma Yoga. Look at Arjuna. Arjuna was a royal prince. He was a part of the royal family. He wanted to be a sannyasi, but Sri Krishna told him, that's not your path. You are not made for that. You can be on the war front and you can still do your Karma Yoga. Because what ultimately is most important is your karma yoga. And that's what is going to evolve you in your life. If someone is a artist, he can do his karma yoga in that way. Non-attachment to the fruit of the action, selfless way, and for people around, for the nature. Now the question will come to you that how do I know what I am doing? Is it my karma yoga or not karma yoga? I'll just give you one example and then you'll have a bit more clarity. Say take example of a police officer. The police officer is working in the police department, and whatever work he is doing, he feels very content and satisfied. So yes, that's very good. Then that can be called as his swadharma. But a police officer who is working in the department but is stressed all the time, then he needs to rethink if that's his karma yoga or not. When you are doing a particular karma, the state of your mind will inform you what is the right swadharma for you. And you should find that for yourself. That's what Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna. That depends on your nature, that your abilities, your likes and dislikes, your previous experiences. And if you do these karmas in a karma yoga way, you don't have to practice any other yoga technique, because a karma yoga itself will evolve you spiritually. And that is the direction of Atma for you. To realize Atma, to know yourself fully well, to balance your mind, to balance your emotions, karma yoga is enough. So I'm going to stop here with the subject of karma yoga. Tomorrow we'll continue with the next chapters, and also some other examples of karma yoga I will give you. Hari Om.